Hey, we're Mug World Entertainment, and we've got a new rumour that says DC Studios reportedly wants The Brave and the Bold to start filming in 2027, and it could release in December of 2028. The interesting thing about that is, if that was to happen, that means we should have a Batman movie in 2027 and 2028. But it's interesting to see that it's saying they want this now to start ramping up, right on the heels of James Gunn saying like he can't crack this character, and he doesn't want to just throw Batman in there for the sake of Batman being in there. But let's have a look at this. So it's saying it's been a long road, but there finally appears to be movement on DC Studios' The Brave and the Bold. The film is meant to properly introduce Batman to James Gunn and Peter Safran's DCU, following his cameo in Creature Commandos, which was just a silhouette and you saw it for like half a second or something. A promising aspect of the project is that it's meant to pair the Dark Knight and Robin in live action for the first time since 1997. Not proper Robin though. They're talking about Damian Wayne Robin, who's like the fifth Robin, so don't get too excited about that. But we keep hearing different things about this now, where it looks like Damian Wayne might not be the Robin in it. Then we're hearing Damian Wayne may be in here, but not actually be Bruce's son, and all this weird stuff. But it says the boy wonder expected to star is Damian Wayne, Bruce Wayne's biological son. Brave and the Bold was part of DC Studios' initial slate announcement. It was later revealed that The Flash's Andy Muschietti had been tapped to direct. Now, he is still supposed to be directing as of now, but of course, from what we've heard from James Gunn himself, that he's not even going to have any input into the story or the script or anything like that, which is insane. But anyway, it continues. Following that, development seemed to slow down significantly. That, paired with the swift announcement of new projects like Clayface, Man of Tomorrow, and the Jimmy Olsen series, led some to speculate that perhaps the film had fallen by the wayside. That, however, does not seem to be the case. Apocalyptic Horseman from Nexus Point News gave a Q&A on X. When asked about updates on The Brave and the Bold, he revealed that, pending a finished script, the movie is eyeing to start production in 2027. Now, the first question you'd have is, how does he know that? We don't know. The second part is a finished script. From what we understand, they've barely even started the script because James Gunn is the one working on it. He keeps saying he has a writer working on it, but refuses to say who that writer is, which makes no sense. But James Gunn keeps jumping from project to project. Like, his whole focus now is shifted to Man of Tomorrow. So he's not going to be working on the Batman Brave and the Bold script at all if he's jumped to this. And of course he's doing the Jimmy Olsen series, so his focus very much won't be there. But this is what Apocalyptic Horseman wrote anyway, saying they hope to shoot Brave and the Bold in 2027, but that all comes down to them nailing the script down, and they've already switched writers, so we'll see. Now, them saying they've already switched writers, they never had actual writers on board. Andy Muschietti was meant to direct. He was meant to have input with the story and stuff like that. James Gunn stepped in very early on in the process and said he is working on the script. And since then, all we've heard is James Gunn saying he's working on the script, but he has someone with him. But again, he refuses to say who's with him. So in another tweet, he added that the film would start shooting in 2027 at the earliest, since it is still at the scripting stage. In another response, he stated production could easily be pushed to 2028. So what you've just heard there is he said they're going to shoot in 2027, but just in case I make a balls to this date, they could also shoot in 2028. Yeah. They could also shoot next year. They could shoot in 2029. They could shoot in 2032. To just change the date is meaningless. So the scooper then clarified that the film getting another screenwriter was not a recent development. That bit is interesting, since While speaking to Games Radar, Gunn stated he was working closely with a writer to get the script ready. So that's the thing we're talking about here, and this is the thing that makes no sense with what this guy, Apocalyptic Horseman, is saying, where he's got a new writer, and they switched writers when the writer from pretty much word go was meant to be James Gunn. And James Gunn has continued to talk about how he's struggling to write this, but also that he has this writer with him that he refuses point blank to name for whatever reason. So what we're basically hearing here is a guy just throwing out dates at us. So assuming Horseman's claim is accurate, it's unclear whether the purported new writer is the one Gunn was talking about, or if the script has changed hands. The Scooper also provided a tentative release window for the film based on what he's heard. In response to a user speculating that Brave and the Bold would drop in winter of 2028, the Scooper stated he believed it could release in December of 2028, saying, "I think December 2028 is more likely, to be honest." Again, where would he come up with these dates? If they want to shoot in 2027, they would probably be aiming for a summer release. They're probably not going to hang on to something like Batman to release in December. I don't think they would do that. So it sounds like the guy is just kind of making crap up, to be honest with you. That he's listening to what Gunn is saying. He's twisting it a little bit here and there. And now he's put it out. Because again, the guys literally said, oh, they are absolutely shooting in 2027, providing they get the script locked down. But everything I'm hearing is 2027. That's what's happening, and it's going to come out in 2028. But then he adds in, but they could also shoot it in 2028. So it's like, okay, so if they shoot it in 2028, why are you still giving a release date of 2028? You saying they're going to film it for half a year and then still have it out in the same year? Yeah, I don't think so, pal. So I think we're going to have to take this one with a massive grain of salt, especially once again seen as James Gunn is writing it. James Gunn cannot crack the character of Batman. He keeps saying it. And two, his entire focus now will shift to Man of Tomorrow, because that is what he's working on now, because they are starting production for that. So all of this, what he's talking about here, they very well may want to have the movie out by 2028, but there's no guarantees of that. And do they realistically want to try and release Batman, their version, that close to Matt Reeves' Batman? Because again, the Batman Part 2 is meant to drop in 2027. Do they want to try and drop another Batman movie 1 year later? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But so far, James Gunn hasn't come out to debunk any of this stuff. But why would he? He's probably actually, taking the Christmas break and stuff like that. So I'm sure enough we'll soon get some news from him where he'll finally go back on to trades and stuff and start debunking all this crap. At least from what his point of view is, he's debunking it, because he's full of shit as well. But what do you guys think? Do you think this is all just crap? Do you think the guy might have hit the nail on the head? Let me know what your general thoughts are on all this. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.